a former landlord, best thing I think I did was selling my property purely because of issues like this. Tenants are being given more and more rights, and landlords are being given diddly squat. Now, I don't condone people living with, holes in their roof, but you've got to ask yourself, what would these people do if these were their own properties? They would get the problem fixed. Right. And unfortunately, not all landlords are bad. I wasn't a bad landlady. My tenant left me in £15,000 of arrears, but I had to suck it up because of COVID. Now, not every landlord is a bad landlord.
No, of course,
and
of course,
I don't,
of course.
and I don't think every landlady is a bad landlady. But, rats in your house, what do? You go out and you buy some steel wool and you buy some expanding foam and you find out where the problem is and you do it. If it's causing you that much concern, would you not sort out the problem, especially if you've got young children sleeping with rats in the bed? You can't just go, I'm going to sit back and I'm not going to spend a penny because it's not my property. No, it's not your house, but it's your home and you live there. And I'm not saying, they've got to fork out thousands for a roof or anything like that. I just think we live in a world where everybody feels they're owed something. And if I'm a tenant, I'm going to sit back and do nothing and it's my landlord's responsibility. Yes, it is to an extent, but if it really matters to you that much,
it is your responsibility. That's the part of the deal, isn't it? You own the property. You make money off them renting. Part of the deal that you have with them is that if you own the property. So if the property breaks, if you own it and you bought it, you pay to fix it.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, if it's really, how long would you live with a rat for? I wouldn't live with a rat for a night. If it's causing you that much of a problem, you would go out and you would spend that £20-30 in B&Q and you would buy the steel wool and you would close up the hole, because you don't want I wouldn't want my kids living around, living in that kind of condition. What I'm saying is, you've got to find the balance. You can't just say, well, I'm going to leave the hole open, because what's going to happen?
What problem wouldn't you get involved in? So if someone comes to you and says, I've just seen a rat running across my bed, and you say, well, buy some rat poison.
No, what I'm saying is, I was a good landlord. And I get not everybody is like that. But for example, you say we make money. A lot of landlords don't make money. Some people are just about covering the rent. And then we've got capital gains, then you've got, the tax. No, I've chosen not to do it, but not every landlord is about, and unfortunately the government is going completely the wrong way. What they're doing is they're painting this picture of these horrible rogue landlords out there, and not everybody is like that. But not everyone is like that.
But not everyone's dumb enough to think that, of course, all landlords are clearly like that. People can absolutely come to a disagreement.
Just like not all tenants are bad,
exactly,
not all tenants are good
exactly.
Either.
So
you can get. But what I'm saying is that if you're living with a problem, if it matters to you that much, you will get it sorted out at the end of the day.
What do you do about a hole in the roof?
If I had a hole in the roof, that's what I'm saying. There are some things that landlords have to go out and fix. But what I'm saying is little things like, like a leaking tap or something like that. I've managed my property through a letting agent. So, I had somebody out there who would go out and do. It is in their contract that the deal with the contract is that the landlord is responsible for the upkeep of the property that they own. That is part of the deal. That's why the tenant is paying what they're paying. And so to an extent, you can see that if there's a leaking tap and you've got the ability to, get a spanner out and fix it, then you'd want it fixed quicker than calling up the landlord in the middle of the night and doing that, of course. But with things like rats, we had a rat problem in the place that we used to live. We had to buy in all kinds of people to come in to do it. It was, in the end, really quite expensive and needed specialist people to come in and deal with it. If you're in a council property and you don't have a lot of money lying around and it's in your tenancy agreement that you are not responsible for this, why would you feel like you need to take responsibility for it? If you can't afford to do it. But you can't afford to do it, B. Well, I don't know. Well, unfortunately, not all landlords are rolling around in money either. I think people think that with these money bags, and we've got lots of money coming out of our.
Don't take on the responsibility then. If you don't want the responsibility of looking after the property,
then what happens with social
rent
housing?
out.
But then you've got no housing. But then you've got nowhere to put people in.
Take the responsibility then.
We're helping the economy by doing that, but then we're sorting out the lack of housing by having a property. And I wasn't given a loan to. I worked off my behind to buy my property without any help.
What you do with your money is up to you, B. What you do with your money is up to you. If you made a profit on it, good for you. If you didn't, tough.
Exactly, and I lived with that, but not every. At the end of the day, I've had to suck up lots of things, but I don't feel that. Unfortunately, with the way it's going,
choice.
Tenants. But as it is the tenant's choice
to
rent, to live there.
It's not hang on. It's the tenant's choice to rent. You think people choose not to buy because they don't have the money to?
well, I don't think it's always. Maybe we think
Have you seen what's
differently
happened to
than Tom.
house
I think in that.
prices? You've seen what's happened to house prices over the last 15 years, yeah?
I have, absolutely. I have seen what's
So
happened
all
to
those
house
people that
prices.
are
Yes,
currently
I have.
renting, they can choose to buy. They're just renting. They should be buying.
Well, not all of them. Not all
Come
of them.
on.
I mean, if you choose to,
Come
I mean, I lived with parents. To
Great.
to save up and to buy. But not everybody wants to do that because
Not everybody can do that,
if you
Bea.
want well, I don't think that's necessary. I think it's a case of I don't want to do it rather than I can't do it.
Okay. I mean, wow. I probably need a Guinness after that, but then I can't get any.